I'm Megan Mellon, and this is The Magazine. If you think the shoe industry is the only one that put Marlboro on the map, you'd be wrong.
Harness racing has been a New England tradition for over 2 centuries now, and Marlboro has played an important part of its success in this region. At one time, Marlboro even had its own trotting park off of Brigham Street, where many standard-bred horses trained. Jack Janetti, more than anyone else in the city, could be credited for putting Marlboro on the map in the harness world. He has covered the sport for the Marlboro Enterprise, Worcester Telegram, and many other media outlets through the years. For Jack, it was love at first sight.
I was taken by how a small person could care for an animal 12 to 16 hands high, and that animal knew who was boss in that particular stall. And that always inspired me towards getting involved in the sport.
He credits one man in particular for introducing him to the sport.
And the people of Marlborough are certainly the natives here that born and raised. There was only one newspaper man that was, to me, a friend and the greatest, and that was Ralph Grasso. And I have to blame him for getting interested in 50 years now of this sport.
Many harness fans say Hall of Fame driver and trainer John Hogan is the most successful to ever come out of Marlboro. Few can argue this claim, for John has collected over 5,000 wins during his career, and the love of the sport is in his blood.
My father had horses, always had horses, and he learned his trade from his uncle, who was a horse trader back in the 30s, and so he was into driving horses more than race horses. But I guess in the turn of events and doing business, he ended up with his uncle ended up with a couple of harness horses, and then became involved. And I grew up in that atmosphere, and that's what I've done all my life, basically.
Hogan and his father owned and trained horses at the track they owned on Berlin Road.
Actually, it started out with just 3 stalls, and I think we ended up probably with close to over 50 by the time we were done, and on a limited amount of acreage. And we just had a small little training track that by most people's standards, wouldn't work, but they worked for us, and they worked well.
Robert Lieberman is a former driver and now a racing official at the Plain Ridge Racecourse in Plainville, where Hogan has racked up a number of his wins. Lieberman believes John is one of the true legends of the sport.
Like that battery called the Die Hard battery, well, John's a die-hard harness racing man. He's in it, it's like 24/7. Every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, the horses have to be taken care of, and guys like John and others devote their time to these horses. And John's been fortunate enough to be not only a local champion, he's been on the national scene and international scene. He's a classic young man. I say young man because he's a few years younger than me, but he's experienced. He's had quite a few wins, over 5,000, and it's an amazing career for somebody that devotes their time for 25 years. You got to average 200 wins a year to maintain 5,000 wins, and not everybody's always feeling good, but in this sport, whether you're not feeling good or you are feeling good, the desire inside you just wants to continue, and you stay on, because some of these guys have taken some serious spills and come back, and as soon as they can, they're back on the bike after a medical okay, and they're racing again.
Janetti believes John is the greatest driver to come out of the city.
He's the most significant professional harness driver, trainer, owner that's come out of Marlboro, without question. And there have been some greats here, Jimmy Hutcher, his father, Jim Hogan, gentleman. And you'd write about these people. There was a genuine interest.
There were so many people involved in harness racing from Marlborough that we had our own association. I say we, I was probably 10 or 12 at the time. But they used to have matinee races at the track, and they had awards banquets down at the country club. There were that many people, and there'd be 200 people in attendance. And they were all, basically they were all Marlboro people. And it was a well-attended affair. And I would say probably Marlboro was the hotbed of racing in Massachusetts and central New England.
We were able to see Hogan's skills firsthand at the Plain Ridge Racecourse, and as luck would have it, Hogan placed first in his race that day. But despite all his success, it's the love of the sport that keeps him going.
The wins, the Hall of Fame is I'm proud to have achieved that success, and I'm proud to achieve the success with the wins. But I don't count the wins as with a number. The enjoyment I've gotten out of it is more than the wins total to. And I think that's the most important thing to me. I mean, it's nice to have them, and it's made the business more enjoyable because when you win a race, it's pretty exhilarating, and you can enjoy the business a heck of a lot more being first rather than being last.
People like the Hogans, Janetti, Ralph Grasso, and many others have helped to make Marlboro synonymous with harness racing. So much so that even today, when Jack writes his columns, editors want a Marlboro dateline at the top of the story.
I would guess in the last 10 years at least, or let's just take a year, because let's just take this year. I probably sent 300 or 400 stories out. All those stories carry a Marlboro dateline, Marlboro, Mass. They know what Marlboro is. I say they. The media outlets in harness racing, the Goshen Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York for harness racing, they see a Marlboro dateline. The tracks see a Marlboro dateline. If I write something about Plain Ridge, there's a Marlboro dateline.
Janetti has enjoyed his time in the industry. He is a member of the United States Harness Writers Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York, as well as the New England Harness Writers Hall of Fame. Jack has announced he is stepping down from his position as president of the New England Harness Writers Association, a title he has held for more than 25 years. The impact he has had on the sport, both locally and nationally, hasn't gone unnoticed by his peers.
Jack is, he's like that steak sauce. I kind of classify people. He's like that steak sauce. They call it A1. Jack is a kind of guy that is totally devoted, just like a horseman, except he's a harness writer. And he'll get a story no matter how difficult it might be or where he has to go to get it. Jack's there to do it.
Jack has dedicated his life to the sport with his family by his side the whole time. This past year, he was honored at the New England Harness Writers Association for his more than 50 years of service. But even with all the accolades he has received through the years, Janetti hopes he will be remembered for the love he had for the sport.
If I can leave a little mark, and maybe through my writing, it was inspiring for someone, then I'll be at peace. I will have done something in this life that was meaningful, and that's what I really would like for me.
For more information on the magazine, you can visit our website. That's going to do it for this issue. I'm Megan Mellon. Thank you for watching.